Women over 50 often reach for coconut oil, hoping it will soften lines and bring back the glow they once knew. At night after night, nothing truly changes beneath the surface. What if the reason isn't your age, your hormones, or your effort? What if the real issue is that coconut oil was never designed to work alone, and the oil that finally awakens collagen may already be sitting quietly on your shelf? My name is Dr. Eliza Hart, a board-certified obstetrician and gynecologist with over 15 years of experience helping women understand how hormones and collagen truly behave after 50. Over the years, I've seen so many women rely on coconut oil, believing it could firm the skin and soften deeper wrinkles, yet the results never match their effort. The reason isn't age or stubborn skin, it's simply that coconut oil was never designed to activate collagen on its own. After menopause, the skin needs both hydration and a biological signal to wake up its repair system, and that signal only appears when coconut oil is paired with the right activating oil. Before we go further, please subscribe and comment the name of your country so I can see how far this message is reaching and help me reach my first 50,000 subscribers so I have the motivation to continue creating science-based guidance for women like you. Stay with me until the end. I have a small but meaningful surprise that may change the way you care for your skin tonight. Now let's begin with why coconut oil alone can never rebuild collagen after 50. 1. Why coconut oil alone doesn't rebuild collagen after 50. Many women assume that if a product feels nourishing, it must also be repairing the deeper layers of the skin. Yet this is exactly where coconut oil becomes misunderstood. It creates an immediate sense of comfort on mature skin, and that soothing texture can easily convince you that change is happening beneath the surface, even when the deeper tissues remain untouched. With age, especially after 50, you begin noticing that moisturizers behave differently on your skin than they once did. Coconut oil, rich and familiar, seems like a reasonable solution, and it does deliver a temporary softness that makes the skin feel calmer and less fragile. However, the quiet truth is that softness and renewal are not the same process. Coconut oil excels at coating the outermost layer of the skin, sealing in hydration and reducing surface dryness, but this effect stays almost entirely at the top. It does not reach the fibroblast cells that are responsible for rebuilding collagen, nor does it stimulate the oxygen-rich circulation needed to activate them. Physiologically, this becomes even more important after menopause when estrogen levels fall, and the skin's internal energy system becomes slower and far more selective. Blood vessels narrow, microcirculation weakens, and the cells that once responded quickly to hydration now require a biological signal to wake up. Coconut oil cannot provide that signal. It offers protection, not activation. Its molecular structure sits close to the surface, acting as a barrier rather than a messenger, and although that barrier feels pleasant, it doesn't contribute to the reconstruction of collagen fibers that support firmness. Another point many women are not told is that coconut oil can sit heavily on the skin if the cell turnover rate slows, which is common after 50. When dead skin cells accumulate more quickly than the skin can shed them, coconut oil may blend with that buildup and linger on the surface, creating a sensation of fullness without encouraging any type of renewal. This leads to the familiar experience of seeing moisture on the outside, but no meaningful structural resilience returning from within. What your skin truly needs at this stage of life is not just hydration, but a secondary force that can move beneath the surface and communicate directly with the collagen-making cells. Coconut oil on its own was never designed to take on that role. It prepares it, softens, it comforts, but it does not awaken. And understanding that difference opens the door to the next essential step in restoring collagen after 50, a step that finally explains why so many women feel improvement but never see transformation. 2. The real reason collagen declines, not aging, but poor microcirculation. One of the most surprising discoveries women make after 50 is that collagen does not simply vanish with age. It becomes underfed. It slows because the environment around it no longer delivers what it needs to function. Many believe the disappearance of firmness is an unavoidable part of growing older, yet the deeper truth is far more hopeful and rooted in biology rather than inevitability. What looks like aging on the surface is often a quiet decline in circulation beneath it. After menopause, your body undergoes a shift that is subtle at first, but profound in its long-term effects on the skin. Estrogen, which once kept blood vessels flexible and responsive, begins to fall. As that hormone declines, the tiny capillaries that supply oxygen and nutrients to the skin narrow and the movement of blood becomes slower and less efficient. Fibroblast cells, which depend heavily on oxygen to produce new collagen fibers, suddenly find themselves working with limited resources. Without adequate circulation, they become quieter, slower, and eventually inactive. They are not damaged, they are simply waiting for fuel. This is why some women notice their skin feeling cooler to the touch or looking paler than it used to even when they moisturize regularly. The issue is not dryness, it is a lack of oxygen reaching the deeper layers. Moisturizers, including coconut oil, can soften the outer surface, but they cannot address the root cause if blood flow is stagnant. They provide comfort but cannot replace the need for cellular energy and circulation-driven nourishment. When microcirculation weakens, the skin loses its natural rhythm of repair. Wounds heal more slowly, fine lines settle more visibly, and the face begins to lose its natural fullness. These are not signs of irreversible aging, they are signs of undernourished tissue. And while many women try new products hoping to regain firmness, the true obstacle lies not in the products themselves, but in the absence of the biological movement that gives those products a chance to work. Understanding this shift is empowering because it reveals that collagen decline is not a fixed destiny. When circulation is restored even partially, the skin responds with remarkable willingness. Warmth returns, color improves, and the foundation for repair slowly rebuilds. And once the environment is ready, the next essential step is identifying what can stimulate that dormant system, what can deliver the gentle push that coconut oil alone cannot provide. 3. Rose oil, the cellular activator coconut oil needs. There comes a moment in every woman's skincare journey when she realizes that moisture alone cannot convince the skin to rebuild itself. And this realization often appears after months of using products that feel comforting but never truly change the deeper texture. This is where the story shifts because the skin does not simply need softness, it needs stimulation. Hydration prepares the canvas, but activation brings it back to life. And among the oils studied for their ability to encourage this deeper awakening, rose oil stands out with remarkable consistency. Rose oil is more than a fragrant botanical. It is one of the few essential oils shown to influence circulation in a way that mature skin can immediately recognize. Its naturally occurring compounds, geraniol, citronellol, and nerol, encourage microvascular movement, allowing the skin to receive the oxygen it has been quietly lacking. When blood flow improves, the fibroblast cells that have remained dormant begin receiving the signals they need to shift from survival mode to repair mode. This is the step coconut oil cannot achieve on its own, not because it is ineffective, but because its purpose is different. Coconut oil comforts. Rose oil energizes. For many women, the first noticeable change is not what they see in the mirror, but what they feel beneath their fingertips. The skin begins to warm slightly during application, a sign that circulation is reawakening and that the deeper layers are beginning to respond. This warmth is gentle, not aggressive, and serves as a biological reminder that the skin is capable of renewal when given the right conditions. Rose oil does not force the skin to work, it guides it back into its natural rhythm, something mature skin often needs after years of hormonal shifts. Because this concept is new for many women, I would love to hear your experience. If you've ever felt that your skin absorbs moisture yet never becomes firmer, comment 1 below. If you've suspected that your collagen might need more activation than hydration, comment 0. Your voice helps shape the conversations we continue together. When coconut oil and rose oil finally meet, they form a partnership that addresses two essential needs at once: deep hydration and cellular activation. And as you begin to understand how these two forces influence each other, the next question naturally becomes how they work together inside the skin. What happens biologically when moisture meets movement? That is the transformation we are about to explore next. 4. When coconut oil meets rose oil, the biological transformation. There is a distinct shift that occurs when hydration and activation finally meet, a shift that cannot be achieved by either ingredient alone. Many women think of skincare as a collection of separate steps, yet the skin behaves more like a living system, responsive, interconnected, and dependent on the environment created for it. Coconut oil and rose oil, when blended together, form exactly that environment, one that allows the skin to receive moisture deeply while also gaining the biological signals it needs to begin renewing itself from within. Coconut oil contributes structure and protection, creating a softened surface that allows the deeper layers of the skin to rest rather than struggle. It locks in essential moisture, preventing transepidermal water loss, which becomes increasingly common after menopause. However, this protective layer becomes meaningful only when the skin beneath it is given the energy required to rebuild its architecture. That is where rose oil enters the picture quietly yet powerfully. As rose oil begins to interact with the skin, something subtle begins to happen. The increased microcirculation it stimulates allows oxygen and nutrients to reach the fibroblast cells more efficiently. These cells, which may have been dormant for years due to reduced blood flow, finally receive the signal to shift out of stagnation. It is not an abrupt change, but a gradual reawakening marked by a gentle warmth and a renewed sense of vitality under the fingertips. This warmth is not just a feeling, it is evidence of biological movement returning to areas that have lacked it. The blend also creates a phenomenon known as osmotic alignment, where hydration held in place by coconut oil works synergistically with the enhanced circulation provided by rose oil. The combination encourages deeper diffusion of nutrients and supports the structural rebuilding process that collagen fibers depend on. Instead of remaining passive, the skin begins participating in its own renewal again, responding to the consistent message delivered through both hydration and activation. For many women, this transformation feels almost like the skin remembering something it had forgotten, the ability to look alive, responsive, and softly radiant. And once this physiological alignment begins, timing becomes the next essential factor. The skin does not repair at all hours of the day. It follows a very specific rhythm that determines when collagen is most receptive to support. Understanding that rhythm is what allows this blend to reach its fullest potential, and that is where we turn next. 5. The golden timing window, when collagen activation actually happens. Even when two oils work beautifully together, the skin can only transform when their effects align with the body's natural repair rhythms. Many women apply products at random times throughout the day, hoping that consistency alone will bring change. But collagen is far more selective. It does not rebuild during moments of stress, activity, or environmental exposure. Instead, it waits for the quiet hours when the body transitions into deep restoration. This shift occurs most powerfully during the late evening when melatonin begins to rise and the nervous system moves out of alertness and into regulation. Between roughly 10 at night and 2 in the morning, the body releases gentle pulses of growth hormone, increases microvascular repair, and directs cellular energy toward rebuilding rather than defending. Fibroblast cells, those responsible for creating new collagen, become more responsive, more receptive, and more willing to engage in structural repair. No cream or oil can override this internal timing. It must be honored for true renewal to occur. Applying the coconut rose blend 45 to 60 minutes before bedtime gives the skin the chance to absorb it fully before this repair window opens. Coconut oil, which can feel heavy earlier in the day or during heat exposure, settles more comfortably at night when the skin's temperature naturally rises. The deeper warmth of nighttime circulation helps prevent the tendency of coconut oil to linger too long on the surface, a problem that may contribute to clogged pores if applied at the wrong hour or in excessive amounts. Rose oil, meanwhile, amplifies the oxygenation process, encouraging the microcirculation needed to deliver nutrients exactly when the fibroblasts are most prepared to receive them. This timing also prevents conflict with the skin's daytime priorities. During daylight, your skin is working to defend against UV radiation pollution, fluctuations in temperature, and oxidative stress. Even excellent products may provide comfort during the day, but they cannot access the deeper biological pathways responsible for strengthening collagen. Nighttime, however, removes those competing demands, leaving the skin free to translate nourishment into genuine repair. Women often describe a noticeable difference when they begin applying their blend in harmony with this window. The skin feels quieter, more receptive, and more responsive, not rushed or overwhelmed. And as this rhythm becomes consistent, the next question is how much of each oil the skin truly needs to benefit without risk, because balance matters just as much as timing. That balance is exactly what we explore next. 6. The correct ratio formula and how to use it properly. When it comes to mature skin, the effectiveness of any oil blend depends not only on choosing the right ingredients, but on preparing them with precision. Women over 50 often assume that richer textures will deliver deeper repair, yet the opposite is true. The skin becomes more selective with age, requiring balance rather than abundance. This is especially important when using coconut oil, a beautiful but heavy emollient that can offer nourishment or congestion depending entirely on how it is handled. The ideal foundation begins with 1 teaspoon of coconut oil as the carrier base. This amount provides hydration and structural support without overwhelming the skin's natural barrier. To this, add only 2 to 3 drops of rose essential oil, never more. Rose oil is potent, bioactive, and deeply stimulating. Its strength lies not in intensity, but in consistency. Blending the two in your palm generates gentle warmth that improves fluidity and helps both oils spread more evenly across the skin. Because coconut oil is naturally comedogenic, mature skin must be guided to receive it safely. The protective film it forms is beneficial when applied correctly, yet problematic if used too heavily or placed on unprepared skin. To avoid clogging, always begin by warming the face with a soft, damp cloth for 10 to 15 seconds. This allows pores to relax, encourages microcirculation, and helps prevent the oil from trapping dead skin cells on the surface. Women with combination or congestion-prone areas, typically the chin and nose, should apply a thinner layer or avoid those zones entirely. A gentle 3-minute massage using slow upward motions improves absorption and minimizes the risk of buildup. Instead of pressing the oil into the pores, the goal is to guide it across the skin with light pressure, allowing the rose oil to enhance circulation, while the coconut oil seals hydration without suffocating the barrier. If you wake up feeling greasy or notice small bumps forming, reduce the coconut oil by half and increase rose oil to 3 drops within safe limits. Mature skin often benefits from gradual adjustments. Use this blend 3 to 4 nights per week, never daily at first. Spacing the applications gives the skin time to rebalance its lipids and prevents over-enrichment, one of the most common reasons coconut oil becomes overwhelming. And as the skin adapts, what begins as nourishment becomes activation, setting the stage for long-term change, which is exactly what we examine in the next section. 7. The long-term benefits when used consistently. The most meaningful improvements in mature skin rarely arrive in sudden, dramatic moments. Instead, they unfold gradually, layer by layer, as the deeper tissues begin receiving what they have quietly lacked for years. When the coconut rose blend is applied with the correct ratio and in harmony with the skin's nighttime repair cycle, the changes that follow feel different from anything created by superficial moisturizers. They are slower, calmer, and more deeply rooted in physiology rather than cosmetic illusion. During the first 2 weeks, many women begin noticing that their skin no longer feels depleted in the morning. This early shift is not merely a surface effect. It reflects a strengthened moisture barrier and a newfound ability to retain hydration within the dermal layers. Coconut oil supports this retention, while rose oil enhances the microcirculation that allows nutrients and oxygen to travel deeper. As hydration stabilizes, the skin becomes more even in texture, more balanced in temperature, and more responsive to gentle touch. By weeks 3 and 4, warmth gradually returns to areas that once felt cool or sluggish, especially along the cheeks, jawline, and temples. This warmth is not irritation. It is circulation returning. Improved microvascular movement allows fibroblast cells to receive consistent oxygen, prompting them to shift from dormancy into activity. These cells begin laying down new collagen fibers that are tighter, more elastic, and better organized than before. As this internal architecture strengthens, fine lines soften, the complexion grows more luminous, and the overall tone becomes steadier and less prone to dullness. Around weeks 5 and 6, women often describe a deeper shift, one that feels more emotional than visual. They speak of sensing a quiet firmness beneath the skin, a steadier texture, and a subtle fullness that makes the face feel supported rather than fragile. For many, this is the first time in years that their skincare efforts feel truly aligned with their biology. The blend is no longer acting as a simple moisturizer. It is participating in the skin's metabolic rhythm, helping it behave in ways that once felt out of reach. With continued consistency, this partnership between hydration and activation creates a kind of inner confidence. The skin appears calmer, more resilient, and more capable of holding its radiance without being overwhelmed by dryness or fatigue. And as this renewed strength builds, the next step is understanding how to carry this transformation forward, how to reclaim a sense of calm, vitality, and self-assurance in the way you care for your skin each night. After everything we have explored together, the message is simple. Your skin has not stopped working. It has simply been waiting for the right conditions to repair itself again. The Coconut Rose blend does not force youth or chase perfection. It supports the deeper biology that becomes quieter after 50. By restoring hydration, encouraging circulation, and aligning with the body's natural repair rhythms, you create an environment where collagen can rebuild steadily, safely, and naturally. The change is not sudden, but it is steady and real. If you choose to begin tonight, do it gently. Warm the oil in your palms, breathe slowly, and allow your skin to receive the nourishment it has been missing, not as a routine to rush through, but as a moment to reconnect with yourself. And remember, progress after 50 is not measured by how quickly the skin transforms, but by how consistently you support it. If my guidance has brought clarity or comfort to you, and if you feel moved to support the growth of this channel, you can make a small donation to help me continue creating thoughtful, science-based content for women everywhere. Your kindness in any form truly helps this work stay alive. If you found value in this video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for spending this time with me, and thank you for choosing to care for the skin you live in.